ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगीव यस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् So we are discussing a doubt. In these verses, we are discussing a particular doubt which Vidyaranya has raised here, that the person who is doing Nirguna Brahma Upasana, suppose if he does whole life, starting from today, suppose. But suppose his obstacles have not gone, even and he continues to listen Mahavakya, yet Mahavakya is not getting clear to such a person, and he continues this upasana, aham brahmasmi, what will happen to that person? So, well, because if you gain jnanam, fine, you get jivan mukti, obstacles have gone, no problem. If a person does a saguna brahma upasana, Ishwar upasana throughout the life, like resorting to Omkara or resorting to even a Shaligram and does Vishnu upasana throughout the life, well, definitely the person is going to get Brahmaloka. That is our 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. There it is said Omkara Alambanam. Taking a resort, I mean resorting to Omkara, one meditates on Ishvara as total. Actually total. Nothing is away from Ishvara. You are not away from Ishvara. One is away from Ishvara, that is ignorance actually. Nothing is away. What is here, the elements are put together intelligently, Ishvara's knowledge. And with the laws, everything is functioning. No man-made laws. It's not any taxation law, this traffic law or administration law. Here, whatever the laws are there, it's also a manifestation of Ishvara. That is Ishvara in fact, because Ishvara is the material cause of everything. Therefore, whatever is here and the things are functioning, all, whether it's a brain function, whether it's it's a psychological order, it's an emotional order, or it's a physical order, any order, or it's an order of dharma, order of karma. Any order is the manifestation of the total order. Therefore, one feels that I am away from Ishvara, well, definitely that reveals ignorance. Ignorance creates a distance. Like the space creates a distance, time creates a distance, even ignorance also creates a distance. Time creates a distance. Myself right now doing a job and my retirement is away, not in terms of space, not in terms of ignorance, it is in terms of time. Yeah, and so in space there is a distance we know, in time there is a distance we know. Ignorance also creates the same distance. The thing is very much with you and you feel you have lost somewhere. You have lost it somewhere. Well, because you are not aware it is there. And therefore ignorance also creates a distance. And therefore I am away from Ishvara has no reality at all. So, well, neither in time, neither in place, neither in terms of any attributes, etc., Ishvara is not away. away from you. Anyway, and so one is all the time pervaded by Ishvara. Therefore, there is a Veshti. Samashti is a superficially we say. Really speaking, Veshti is totally pervaded. In all the states of experiences, you are pervaded by Ishvara. Anyway, so I mean, here we are discussing Saguna Brahma Upasana. If one does, one goes to Brahmaloka, gains Gnanam Krama Mukti. One who gains knowledge here by Mahavakya Vichara gains Jivan Mukti. Also Videha Mukti, of course. But what about this Nirguna Brahma Upasaka? What will happen to him? So, well, he says this Nirguna Brahma Upasaka, well, definitely if he meditates like this, Aham Brahmasmi, etc., then definitely his obstacles will go in this life, and then definitely he parallelly listens Mahavakya, and well, it will become clear and gains Jivan Mukti. But suppose up to the end of the life, his obstacles are such it has not gone, then what will happen to such person? Vidyaranya says he is also gaining Krama Mukti like Sagun Brahma Upasaka. This Nirgun Brahma Upasaka also gains Krama Mukti. How can he say like that? So he is giving all references. So many references from Upanishads, my God. And even Brahma Sutra also. And lastly we saw in verse 141, of course we are in 143, I know, but I am just going back again. So saha akamaha nishkamaha iti hi ashariraha nirindriyaha abhayam hiti muktatvam tapaniye phalam shrutam. So he is giving a pramana that the person, well, who does, who resort, who takes a resort of a Omkara, and this would, he does a upasana of a Nirguna Brahma, superimposing Nirguna Brahma upon Omkara, not upon oneself, suppose. Well, such a person also gains a mukti, where it is said in Nrsimha Uttaratapaniya Upanishad, it has been said, and where in Nrsimha Uttaratapaniya Upanishad, in the 5th chapter, 3rd mantra, 7th chapter, 3rd mantra, 8th chapter, 3rd mantra, describes this mukti of the upasaka, who has done upasana with a alambanam of Omkara. Throughout the life, while he gains, he goes to Brahmaloka and gains Jnanam and becomes free. So that is, he is saying here. So means Omkara is basically a most important thing for us. Really, analysis of Omkara leads you to the knowledge of the self, gains Jivan Mukti. Upasana of the Omkara, if you are not able to analyze, means Vedanta only. If you are not able to analyze and continue the meditation on Nirguna Brahma, Saguna Brahma with the help of Omkara, well, you gain Krama Mukti. So Omkara is a sadhanam for Jivan Mukti or Videha Mukti. Omkara is a sadhanam for Krama Mukti also. So this is what has been, we should know here. And here, of course, we are discussing Omkara Upasana and Krama Mukti. And he narrates that such a person, the Upasaka, well, goes to Brahmaloka and gains Krama Mukti. And he becomes what? Akamaha, Nishkamaha. He gains freedom from all available kamanas. And Akamaha, so that is a Nishkamaha. And Akamaha means a non-arrival of the fresh kamas. So this is how he gains it. Free from the desire. So Prajahati Yada Kaman. Binding desires. No binding desires. Means there is no, the bondage is in terms of Ragadvesha. So Ragadveshas are there. Well, Ragadveshas are nothing but looking upon something as a source of security, etc. Which, well, he knows he is timeless. And therefore there is no question of seeking security through some object. And therefore, well, such type of Ragadvesha, not looking upon something as a source of joy, etc. as a happiness. He knows he is the happiness, fullness within. And therefore he doesn't have this kind of a Ragadvesha, binding desires. He must have a desire depending upon his prarabdha vasana, that is generally loka sangraha, etc. only. And so this person becomes akamaha nishkamaha. Ashariraha nirindriyaha. Well, he becomes free from the sharira, indriya, etc. Sthula sharira rahitaha, indriya means sukshma sharira rahitaha, means Karana Sharirahita we also will be there. That is said also in Tapani Upanishad in the 7th chapter, 3rd mantra. And Akama Nishkama is the 5th chapter, 3rd mantra. So partly the mantras are very big, but he is just quote paraphrasing here. And Abhayamiti, well, he gains he discovers fearlessness. There is no abidance in fearlessness, frankly speaking. Even though Abhayam Pratistham Vindate, we say, Pratistham is an abidance. So as though you are there and Brahman is there and you abide. Nothing like that. You discover that you, that I, is really a fearless. I is timeless and therefore fearless. So you discover fearlessness. It's really not abidance. Abidance, etc., creates another notion. It's a discovery. Your own nature is free from any kind of a threat, security, insecurity, etc. There is no threat of time. I mean, there is no question of a survival, etc. You are basically timeless, and therefore, basically, so you become. There are 2-3 ways it can be looked upon. I don't want to go. Dvaitati bhayam bhavati also is there. So wherever there is a sense of a duality, I mean the duality as a reality, if you have that, will definitely, you are there and the world is there, and you think that it is different from you, world become a potential threat for you. Anything in the world can become a threat, source of threat for you. That's called Dvaitam. That creates a fear. So basically he knows what is there is just myself, and these names and forms are mithya, and therefore, so he discovers this fearlessness. That's also a result of this knowledge. Either you say Abhayam Pratishthan in the day, or one becomes free from this Dvaita Buddhi. Well, also will become free from the fear. Abhayam iti. So that is said even in Taittiriya. I am quoting from Taittiriya, but in Uttar Tapani Upanishad also in the 8th chapter, 3rd mantra, this is also very big, but he paraphrases here, Abhayam iti. So all this is what? Muktatvam Shrutam. This is all called Mukti for a Nirgun Brahma Upasaka. What type of a Mukti? Krama Mukti. Because the doubt was, this person continues with a Omkara Alambaram, Upasana, Nirgun Brahma Upasana. Well, what will happen if one doesn't gain Mukti here? Doesn't gain Jivan Mukti here, what will happen? Well, he will gain Krama Mukti. That is what is said here. Now verse 143. So it says, Nishkamopasana mukti tapaniye samirita. You see, because since this kind of a thing, upasana gives mukti, you can see in 141, it is there. Then in 140, and we have to see 142 also. I'm sorry, I forgot that we have to start with 143. So upasanasya samarthyad vidyotpattihi bhavet tatah nanyah panthaha iti etat shastram naiva virudyate. Thing is, he made a loose statement that this upasana, Nirgun Brahma upasana, gives a mukti. Tapani Upanishad says. So that will create a doubt in an intelligent student that upasana also could be the means for gaining mukti. So etc. Well, then Vidyaranya wants to clarify that because it will be a contradiction, because Shastra Upanishads very clearly says Jnanena eva moksha. Knowledge alone gives the freedom, because really speaking nothing is to be gained. Freedom is not to be gained actually. You are free basically, and one has to discover it, and therefore and in that case Jnanam only works. Therefore it is very clear also. But then this, when Acharya makes a statement, Upasanat Muktihi, Nishkam Upasanat Muktihi, Nirguna Brahma Upasanat Muktihi, while resorting to Omkara Alambana, if one does the Upasana, well, he will gain Mukti. So that creates a doubt that how Upasana gives Mukti. Because it's a karma. Karma means it gives rise to karma phala. And Mukti is a karma phala. Then where is a nityatvam of the Mukti? One gains a freedom for temporarily. That's how one gains a freedom temporarily. Everyone gains a freedom, in fact, from all evils. Every day one gains. But it is not a mukti, really speaking. That only makes a basis for us to gain mukti forever. And in Sushupti, everyone gains mukti. Who doesn't gain mukti? No fear, nothing. No evil. in a deep sleep state. You become free. No sense of limitation, nothing. Anyway, no self-rejection, no self-loath, no, I mean, anyway. So basically, so this is very clear. So this upasanas give the mukti means it becomes a karma phala, it becomes anityam, etc. No, 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 no. So that he has to clarify all these things. So well, definitely, he says here, upasanasya samarthyat vidyotpattihi bhavet. So, well, samarthya means a power. Samarthyat, because of the power. Power of what? Upasanasya, because of the power of this Nirgun Brahma upasana. Vidyotpattihi bhavet, Vidya will, the knowledge will dawn in such a person. Listening to Shastra. So, well, so we have to remove this vagueness here. Through Vichara, Mahavakya Vichara, this, the knowledge will take place. Then, so what it indicates is upasanasya samarthyat means this upasana gives you that power. Means you gain a mind which is free from obstacles, etc. And then one definitely listens to Mahavakya and gains knowledge. Tataha, therefore, na anyah panthaha iti shastram naiva virudyate. And therefore the Shastra says, Purusha Suktam says, and Shvetashvatar Upanishad also says, Anyah panthaha na vidyate. There is no other marga. So Jnana marga gives a moksha and then upasana gives a moksha. Na. Anyah panthaha na vidyate iti shastram naiva virudyate. So it is not contradictory. I made a loose statement. Upasana gives mukti, but definitely upasana gives you a power. Because of the upasana, one definitely, one's mind becomes free from any obstacles, and that we know very well. Even we don't take into consideration all these things. We know that in a given class there are certain people who understands very quickly, fat, and some people, really speaking, are not able to appreciate or are able to appreciate partially. That shows there is obstacle, very clear. And therefore this upasana definitely helps you to understand the things quickly. Whether or not in this life, suppose obstacles are such, then gaining Brahmaloka also, well, he will be exposed to this teaching. Teacher is Brahmaji, etc. And then gains Jnanam and becomes free. So Krama Mukti. And this Nanyah Pantha iti Shastram is Shvetashvatar Upanishad 3.8 and 6.15. Well, that is said there. And in Purusha Suktam, of course, it is there. You know very well. Purusha Suktam, I think 3.8, and then Shvetashvatar Upanishad 6.15. Okay, 143. Now here, of course, we read this mantra, Nishkama Upasanad Muktihi Tapaniya Samirita. So, Nirguna Brahma Upasana leads to this Krama Mukti, Nishkama Upasana. So, now, Nirguna Brahma Upasana and Nishkama Upasana. Let us be clear about it. Nishkama Upasana means either you resort to Omkara, I mean take a alambana of Omkara and do Nirguna Brahma Upasana, but you don't have any desire. You know, this Upasana, if you do throughout the life, you gain Brahmaloka. But if you don't have even desire of a Brahmaloka, that's called Nishkama Upasana. You are doing Nirguna Brahma Upasana resorting to Omkara as alambanam, of course, but you don't have a desire for Brahmaloka. Well, in that case also, of course, you will go to Brahmaloka only and gain Jnanam and become free. That's called Nishkama Upasana. And there is a Sakam Upasana, where definitely you meditate upon Omkara and while resorting to, I mean, you have a desire for Brahmaloka, suppose. And you know you are going to get, suppose you do a upasana throughout the life with a desire to gain Brahmaloka, that's called Sakam Upasana. You are again, well, taking a help of a Omkara as a Alambanam and doing a Nirguna Brahma Upasana, then definitely, well, you will also go to, that person also will go to Brahmaloka and gain Jnanam, etc. with, well, and becomes free. So Sakam Upasana and Nishkam Upasana, definitely, well, both will help for the person to go to the Brahmaloka, gain knowledge and become free. But Swamiji, why the person has a Brahmaloka, desire for the Brahmaloka? To become a Brahmaji. That's what it is, Brahmaloka. What? So it's you want to become a Brahma. So definitely you become Brahma, but then definitely you will have this knowledge also. So anyway, so this is how it has been mentioned. So because parallelly Nirguna Upasana, Saguna Upasana, Nishkam Upasana, Sakam Upasana, you feel it's all cluster. So Sakam Upasana or Nishkam Upasana, well, throughout the life, with the help of a Omkara, one goes to Brahmaloka and gains Jnana and becomes free. There are certain upasanas which help you to go to Brahmaloka, but then one returns. That's how Bhagavan has to say, A Brahma Bhuvanan Lokaha Punaravartinaha. But they say, if you take help of if you resort to Omkara Alambanam and do this upasana, Ishwar Upasana, well, you will not return. That's what has been shaded, and it will come. It will come. So that is how it is. Certain upasanas of Ishvara, well, all upasanas will lead ultimately to Brahmaloka. But certain upasanas you have done, you have done upasana of Ishvara with a different alambanam, etc., then, well, you will return. So that kind of a thing has been clarified in the 8th chapter by one Tikakara. But so far as we are concerned, we are talking about here is a Omkara Alambanam here, which has been mentioned in the Nrsimha Uttaratapani Upanishad and also Prashna Upanishad also, that we are going to see now. So Nishkama Upasana Mukti, Nishkama Upasana, of course Nirguna Brahma Upasana, not having a desire for Brahmaloka, well, Mukti will give you Krama Mukti, definitely. But Tapaniye Samirita. This has been said in a Tapaniye, means Tapani Upanishad. It has been mentioned in Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad, and where we have already seen in verse 141, right? 5.3, 7.3 and 8.3. And the same topic, of course, this Omkar Upasana has been discussed even in a Prashna Upanishad, and that is quoted in the second line of this 143, and that is Brahmalokaha Sakamasya Naishshabya Prashne Samiritaha. So, Sakamasya. Uttaratapani Upanishad mentioned about Nishkam Upasana, Omkar Upasana only, but Nishkam Upasana, and well, definitely gives a Krama Mukti. But Prashna Upanishad also mentions Omkar Upasana, but it is Nirguna Brahma Upasana only, but Sakamasya. This person is meditating upon Omkara, all the three, because all three are connected, right? Akara, Ukara, Makara. Who connects all the three states? Akara stands for a Jagrat, Ukara stands for a Swapna, and Makara stands for a Laya, Sushupti. Between Jagrat and Sushupti, what is there? Intermittent state is a dream state. So between Akara and Makara, Akara, well, is a Jagrat. So when you chant, I told you, when you chant Akara, you have to open the mouth. When you chant Makara, you have to close the mouth. Makara cannot, because it's a Oshtyam. It's a labial, and therefore you close the mouth. Between that is this Ukara. So between Jagrat and Sushupti, it's a big thing, very, very big thing. This is actually analysis. If you go like that, you gain knowledge. You gain knowledge, but suppose someone doesn't gain knowledge. So Omkara, well, definitely stands for, Akara, Ukara, Makara stands for three states of experience. Akara stands for a waking experience. Makara stands for a deep sleep. In between, Ukara is a dream state. And who connects all the three? Who connects? The Sakshi. I connect. You say, I was awake, I slept, I dreamt. What is that I? What is that I? Which is there in all the three states. So, well, Akara is not Ukara, Ukara is not Makara, Makara is not Akara. But all the three matras rise from Amatra. Because from Amatra, well, only all the three matras arise. And all the three matras, after you chant Omkara, where does Omkara ultimately resolve? It into the silence. So from the silence only all the sound comes, Akara, Ukara, Makara, etc. And in silence it resolves. So between two Om, what is there is Amatra. Yeah, not just between two. When you chant also, the basis is basically the silence only. Anyway, but you are aware, you become aware of that silence when you stop this sound of Om, etc. That's fine. So all the three states are basically connected. But how can you say, Samaji, this has a basis in the silence. A sound has a basis in the silence. You analyze. With a one matra, you said now I'm saying you fragment it. Chant part of it. Chant part of it. Chant part of it. It resolves into silence. From silence only the sound comes. Sound cannot come from the sound. Sound comes from the silence. You know that very well. You akara, one matra means 1 second you chant Now I said chant for half second. Chant for a half second, quarter of that, quarter of that. It's resolving into silence. You are not able to chant. So sound comes from the silence. I don't want to go into that because it's a huge topic discussed in Mandukya, and perhaps we will study in the future. But what I am saying is, it's amazing. This Omkara analysis gives you the knowledge of Sakshi. But suppose if you, that's what I say, if you cannot do analyze, resort, take a alambanam of Omkara and do Upasana of Nirgun Brahman, Sakshi. Anyway, so well, such person definitely Nishkam Upasana. He just wants to realize Ishvara. He wants to become one with Brahman, but he is not able to understand Mahavakya. No problem. Do. So go to Brahmaloka and then gain knowledge and become one with Brahman. So this is Nishkam Upasana. But in Prashnopanishad, Sakamasya Brahmaloka. He had a Kamana. He is also doing Upasana with the help of Omkara, and we'll be seeing also with how he does this Upasana. So Sakamasya Brahmaloka. So this person, Sakamasya, he has a desire for Brahmaloka and do the Upasana with the help of Omkara. Well, still he will also go to Brahmaloka and become, gain knowledge and become one with the Brahman. So Shaibya Prashne. Prashnopanishad belongs to Atharva Veda, and it is called Prashnopanishad because there are 6 disciples, each ask a question to a teacher called Pippalada. One of the disciple is a Satyakama Shaibya. There is a Satyakama Jabalaha which comes in a Chandogya Upanishad. He is a different. And this one is a Satyakama Shaibya. And then there is Jabala Upanishad also, which is entirely different from this, by the way. And that Jabala Upanishad, where it has come, I have already quoted in one while explaining 140, verse 140, it's a very beautiful Upanishad which mentions very clearly 4 ashramas. In fact, that is called a Sannyasa Upanishad, Jabala Upanishad. I just want to mention, I'm going a little away from what we are discussing, but I just want to mention this Jabala Upanishad is a very small Upanishad. And it's a dialogue between Yajnavalkya and the certain disciples. One of them is a Atri Rishi, other is different students who wants a Brahmajnanam. And one is our King Janaka also, very beautiful. So, 20 mantras are there, but I think 5 or 6 chapters are there. So, each one has a few mantras only. And that is where very clearly mentioned. Why it is called Sannyasa Upanishad? Because very clearly mentioned, one who wants to gain knowledge, well, he should renounce everything, etc., like that. And very clearly mentioned from Brahmacharya Ashrama also one can take a sannyasa, or one can from Brahmacharya goes to Grastha Ashrama, goes to Vanaprastha, and then leaves everything and then gains knowledge in sannyasa, etc. So Yadahareva Virajet, Tadahareva Pravajet, it's a very popular statement from Jabala Upanishad. Yadahareva, Ahaha Eva, Yad Ahaha. The day you Virajet, the day you gain a dispassion for all the material goals, Tadahareva, that day itself, Pravrajet, well, leave everything. So that's very clearly sannyasa in principle, I mean, formal sannyasa has been mentioned. Or basically, it has been mentioned, Brahmacharya deva grihi bhavet, grihat vani bhavet, vanadeva pravrajet. So from a brahmacharya, well, you become grihi, grihasthashrama. Grihi bhutva vani bhavet. Then being vani. Vani means vanaprastha. And from vanat pravrajet. Then take. So all four ashramas, either way. And that is where this Varanasi, etc. I also told you very clearly in the first section itself. One who wants to gain mukti should stay in a Varanasi. That's how it has come, Varanasi. Because both rivers are there, Varna and Asi. This Varanasi is basically on the bank of Ganges, but it seems that it has another two rivers which are dry, Varna and Asi, and the two sides of that Varanasi. That's how this place is called Varanasi, where there is Avimukta, there is Shaiva. I told you why Avimukta is called Shaiva also, just I'm referring. So, because the definition of an animal, etc., is dharma dharmabhyam vimuktaha pashuhu. So, the pashu, animals, other living beings other than human being generally, or the jiva, you can say, dharma dharmabhyam vimukta. These pashus are basically free from dharma and adharma. And in Varanasi, who stays avimuktaha? Who is other than vimukta, other than the pashu, other than the jiva, and that is Pashupati, that's a Shiva. And so Shiva stays in that avimukta, is there in Varanasi. Kashi Vishwanath, you know very well. And so one who worships Kashi Vishwanath, Shiva, avimukta, well, gains mukti. That kind of a thing is there. But it has been a clear significance in terms of Varnasi. I told you in a Yoga Shastra it's a different. And for us, of course, the spiritual significance is different. Avimukta means this Brahman. And one who worships here means one who gains knowledge. So that has been mentioned in 140. You can see very well, very beautifully mentioned there. Avimukta upasanena taraka brahma buddhivat. Avimukta upasana. So with the upasana of this Avimukta, Brahman, well, Taraka Brahma Buddhi. So, which will make you cross. Brahma Buddhi means Brahma Jnanam. Well, just as Brahma Jnanam makes you cross from the samsara, this Avimukta Upasana also, Brahma Upasana, Nirgun Brahma Upasana also, with the help of Omkara, etc., will make you free from samsara via vichara, via jnana. So, that is to be made clear. Just I am saying about Jabala Upanishad, by the way. But here, so there are two disciples. One in a Chandogya that's called Satyakama Jabala. He is also asking questions there regarding Upasana. And here in Prashnopanishad, it is Satyakama Shaibhya. And he asks, it's a fifth question. And he asked, what is the question? I will tell you. He asked, this Satyakama Shaibhya asked a question to teacher. Pippalada. Pippalada is a teacher and there are 6 disciples. Each asks a question. That's how this is called Prashnopanishad. So, Sayohavai etad bhagavan manusheshu prayanantamaha omkaram abhidhyayita katam vavasah tena lokam jayati iti. He says, etan, hey Bhagavan, or your teacher. So, etad manusheshu prayanantamaha. Among all these human beings, there are human beings. There are upasakas, meditators, prayanantamaha, till the end of the life. Prayana means, well, definitely, prakashena ayanam. It is called prayanam. Once you go, you will never return. That's a death. So, prayanantamaha, till the end of the life, well, they, omkaram abhidhyayita, they are definitely meditating. Omkaram means, definitely, omkaram means taking alambana of the omkaram. You can say, see, let me make it very clear. Either you say Omkar Upasana, either you say, Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Like, either you say it is a Vishnu Puja, or either you say Shaligrama Puja. Right? Sometimes you say Shaligrama. I am worshipping Shaligrama. Of course, you are worshipping Shaligrama, but you are not worshipping Shaligrama stone. You are invoking Vishnu in a Shaligrama, but you mention like this, oh, I am doing Linga Puja. People say, I am doing Linga Puja. Lingam is that stone. Or you say, I am doing Shiva Puja. So same way, Swamiji, what is this Omkar Upasana and what is Nirguna Brahma Upasana? Same thing. With the Omkara is a Alambanam. which is a pratika, is a symbol. It's called pratikopasana. It's a pratik. There is a pratima upasana, pratikopasana, ahangra upasana, etc. There are various upasanas. So here you take help of a pratika, symbol. Omkara is a symbol. Omkara is not a pratima. Pratima means an idol. So you basically worship an idol. So that's how we are called idol worshippers. The people don't know what advantage we have. The people, the dharmas, the religions which opposes this idol worship, they are devoid of so many advantages. They have only one type of prayer, and that is a verbal prayer. We have all the levels of prayers, and different type of prayers gives different results. Yeah, because they have a different type of karmas. So, we have a worship, physical worship, physical prayer, you can say. Then we have a verbal prayers, and we have mental prayers. The people who are not idol worshippers, they only have just a verbal prayer. Yeah, they have Abrahamic religions, etc. They have just verbal prayers, but they don't realize that it is also a form. It is also a form. And they sit in a particular posture, and they face a wall, and they chant. That is a form, that they name, etc. So it is also a form. But anyway, I don't want to go into that. But point is, ultimately, let us be clear. Omkar upasana means here Nirguna Brahma upasana. Omkar is a alambanam only. So, he Brahmalokaha Sakamasya Shaibya Prashne. So, this Shaibya did ask this question, that what will happen to the people who does this Omkara Vidhyanam, Omkara Upasana, etc. And in reply to that, Pipalada said very beautifully, Tasmai Sahovacha, where is it, Swamiji? Prashnopanishad, 5th chapter, 5th section, 5th khanda, you can say, and the 5th mantra. It is very beautifully said. No, in the 2nd mantra itself it is said. In 5th mantra also it is said, but that is little later. In 2nd mantra itself he replies. First mantra is a question of a Shaibya to Pipalada regarding what happens to the person who does this Omkar Upasana throughout the life. Will he never gain mukti, etc.? What? No, he gains krama mukti. Pipalada wants to say. So he starts replying. He says, Tasmai Sahovacha etadvai satyakama paramcha aparamcha brahma yad omkaraha tasmad vidvan etena eva ayatanena ekataram anveti. He says, saha Pipaladaha tasmai Shaibhyaya hovacha. Pipalada replied to Shaibya. Etad he satyakama etadvai, indeed, etad paramcha aparamcha brahma yad omkaraha. This omkara stands for aparam brahma, sagunam brahma. Omkara stands for param brahma, nirgunam brahma. So, etadvai paramcha aparamcha brahma yad omkaraha. Omkara is either can be looked upon as aparam brahma, sagunam brahma, Ishvara, and you can meditate throughout the life, or you can meditate as a taking the help of a omkara, you meditate on as a param brahma, nirgunam brahma. Then what will happen? So they both gain mukti. They both can gain mukti. Yeah, going to Brahmaloka. So tasmad vidvan etena eva ayatanena ekataram anveti. One who has definitely meditated upon Sagunam Brahma, Hiranyagarbha, etc. He also goes to Brahmaloka and definitely gains knowledge. And this Param Brahma also, one who meditates Omkara as a Param Brahma, Nirgunam Brahma, Upasana, throughout the life, and he also goes to Brahmaloka and gains knowledge, becomes one with Param. He gains Param Brahma means he gains Param Brahma in terms of knowledge. And the other one who gains a Aparam Brahma, Sagunam Brahma, that is Hiranyagarbha, one gains a position of a Hiranyagarbha, but definitely Brahmaji also is not ignorant. So he also will be free. That is also this kind of a thing there. So that is this kind of description is there. Swamiji, but the one who goes to Brahmaloka and then how he goes to Brahmaloka as a directly Brahmaji? No. He remains in a Brahmaloka throughout the Kalpa. And with the Kalpa that, when Brahmaji resolves, the previous Brahmaji resolves, he also resolves. and in a next kalpa, well, he becomes a Brahma. Like that, this kind of description is there. Where in Taittiriya Upanishad also it is there. I don't want to quote too much, but this kind of description is there because here it is said, one who meditates on Aparam Brahma gains Aparam Brahma. One who meditates on Param Brahma gains Param Brahma. Aparam Brahma means Sagunam Brahma, means what? Hiranyagarbha, means Brahmaji. So he gains a exalted position of Brahmaji, but of course he gains knowledge also. Brahmaji has a knowledge. Anyway, so he, in a new kalpa, he gains this a position called Brahma. It's an exalted thing. One, that's the highest achievement one can have in this human life. That doing this one gains later like this. Anyway, so now let's go to so Prashnopanishad also means it says that the person gains jnana with the help of Omkara Upasana. Well, Omkara, he looks upon Omkara as Param Brahma, then, well, he becomes one with the Param Brahma, gaining knowledge in Brahmaloka. That is said in 144 very clearly. Yah upaste trimatrena Brahmaloke saniyate sa etasma jivaganat param purushamikshate. So relevant Prashnopanishad Vakyam is now paraphrased, and that is 5th chapter, 5th mantra. That has been mentioned now. So this Satyakama Shaibya wants to know about Omkara, and then whole chapter, as I told you, is Omkara Upasana, that 5th chapter. Only 5 mantras are there, I think. Yeah. No, 7 mantras are there total. But this what is relevant to us and what is quoted here in 144 is the 5th mantra of that 5th chapter. Anyway, so Pippalada says that Omkara is a very great mantra which represents both Param Brahma, Aparam Brahma, and you meditate. As you meditate, so you become. Tat kartu nyaya. You remember that. As you meditate constantly, so you become. Anyway, so well, so one can become a Brahmaji, gains Hiranyagarbha position, or one can gain Param Brahma in terms of knowledge also. So, and well, that is said in the 2nd mantra, and then Pippalada talks about Omkara Upasana, etc. He says this Omkara Upasana can be done in this manner. He mentions from 3rd mantra onwards. And let me quote you the 3rd mantra, and that is Sa yadi ekamatram abhidhyayita. Omkara has 3 matras, and if you meditate on Omkara with a 1 matra, means 1 matra means you don't, instead of Omkara you say no. You chant Omkara, but in your mind there is a predominance of Akara or Ukara or Makara. 1 matra, either only one. So this is called Ekamatra Pradhana Omkara Upasana. Then what will you gain? You don't get Brahmaloka. You will gain this Prithvi Loka. You come back and you gain a human birth, where it is mentioned in that 3rd mantra itself in the 5th chapter in Prashnopanishad. Tam ruchaha manushya lokam upanayante sayatra tapasa brahmacharyena shuddhaya sampannaha mahimanam anubhavati. He comes back. He has done upasana with like this ekmatra pradhana Omkara Upasana. He gains Prithvi Loka, gains a human birth, and that too while the person is Shraddhaya Tapasa Brahmacharyena Mahimanam Anubhavati. He gets an exalted body, etc. This is one. Then in the 4th mantra, this Omkara Upasana has been mentioned by Pippalada to Shaibya, is that Dvimatra Pradhana Omkara Upasana, like Akara Ukara Pradhana. So when you chant Om, but you have a predominance in your mind of O, Om, Om. So Okara is a Pradhana, like that. So one who does this Dvimatra Pradhana Omkara Upasana, well, definitely he gains Athayadi Dvimatrena Manasi Sampadyate Saha Antariksham Yajurbihi Unniyate Somalokam Sa Somaloke Vibhutim Anubhuya Punaravartate. He gains a Svargaloka, etc. And very clearly mentioned Upanishad also goes there, definitely have exalted body, exalted bhoga, but punaravartate, he comes back. So this is has been said very clearly. So definitely ekmatra pradhana means you gain another human birth, you will come back. Dvimatra pradhana, well, also, well, it says here, Upanishad clearly mentions he will come back. So going to Swargaloka, of course, but then he comes back. But what about this Trimatra that has been mentioned in this fifth mantra of the Trimatra Pradhana? Means you chant Trimatra Pradhana, means entire Omkara is a Pradhanam for you. And you do this Upasana till the end of the life. Well, Yaha Punaha Etam Trimatrena Om iti Etene eva Aksharena Param Purusham Abhidhyayita Param Purusham Nirgunam Brahma Abhidhyayita Saha Tejasi Surya Sampannaha Yatha Padodaraha Tvacha Vinirmuchyate Evam Havai Sa Papmana Vinirmuktaha. What a beautiful thing. He said one who does this Nirguna Brahma Upasana with the Trimatra Pradhana, means entire Omkara Pradhana Upasana, one who does Param Purusham Abhidhyayitam in Nirguna Brahma, he meditates like that. So definitely, first is he goes to Suryaloka. That is how it has been mentioned at many places. While going to Brahmaloka, he passes through various other lokas also, Vidyul Loka, Surya Loka, etc. And Tejasi Surya Sampannaha, while he resides in a Surya Loka, waiting for someone to come and lead to Brahmaloka. This is mentioned also in the Chandogya also. Anyway, but thus this person who does this Upasana, Omkar Upasana, and meditates on Nirgunam Brahma throughout the life, Yatha Padodaraha Tvacha Vinir Muchyate. You must have seen that snake, removes that the skin, like that. Same way, this person, Saha Papmana Vinirmukta, he will become free from all the sins, means free from Punya Papas. And Saha Samabihi Unniyate, and there are some special people come and they take him. Brahmalokam Unniyate, they lead him to Brahmaloka. Saha etasma jiva ganat parat param purishayam purusham ikshate tadetau shlokau bhavatah. From that paraphrase is there in our 144, you can see very well. Saha etasmat jiva ganat param purusham ikshate. That is from the fifth chapter. Fifth mantra, I'm sorry. So, Saha Brahmaloke, so basically Saha Yaha Upaste Trimatrena Brahmaloke Niyate. He is taken to Brahmaloka. And and then Saha Etasma Jiva Ganat. But Swamiji, how does he go? This is called Shuklagati. I am again connecting you to the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Two Gatis, Krishna Gati and Shuklagati. One who goes through Shuklagati, well, definitely. But how does one live at the time of death? Well, that's what I also told you. Well, from the Sahasrara, he goes to Brahmarandram, and from Brahmarandra, well, he goes. That's called, he leaves this body and then goes to various lokas. And what are the destinations come in between? What are the stations come in between till the last destination called Brahmaloka? That has been very nicely mentioned by Bhagavan in the 8th chapter, etc., etc. That the Devata of the day comes, and then Devata of the Shukla Paksha comes, and then Devata of the Uttarayana comes, and all that, some Kala Devatas, they come and they say, welcome, 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 like that. Okay? So ultimately, he goes to Swamiji, what is the verification? How we will verify? This is what Shastra says, we will have to accept it. But anyway, so piercing that Surya Bimba, etc., goes to Brahmaloka. And then, of course, this Upasaka gets a chance of gaining Nirgunam Brahma Jnanam because he has meditated on Omkara, looking upon it as a Nirgunam Brahma. So now, as he meditates, so he becomes. So then Prashnopanishad says, Saha etasma jiva ganat parat param purusham ikshate. Here param purusham ikshate is said. Etasma jiva ganat. Jiva Ghana means a mass of all the jivas. So there is nothing. Jiva is nothing but, you know very well, Jiva is nothing but a subtle body. Of course, endowed with the consciousness, of course. So, then Hiranyagarbha is a samashti, subtle prapancha. So basically Hiranyagarbha is called Jivagana. So Jivaganat Parat, that's also exhausted. But compared to that, what is most exalted is Param Brahma. Because Jivagana means Hiranyagarbha, that is Saguna Brahma. And therefore, Jivaganat Parat Param. So Jivaganat Param, let us say, superior to this Hiranyagarbha, which is Nirgunam Brahma. Vikshate, he sees Nirgunam Brahma, etc. See, he knows, he becomes one with that through Jnanam. So basically, until now he was doing that Nirguna Brahma Upasana or Omkara, but he did not claim it. Now there he is able to claim, I am that Nirguna Brahma, which I invoked in that Omkara. In Brahmaloka he gains this knowledge. And this is discussed also in a Brahma Sutra. Ikshakti Karmadikaranam, etc. It has been discussed very well. Okay. Perhaps next time, I may get time, I will refer to that Brahma Sutra, the Sutra also. So let's go to 145. Apratikadikarane tatkratunyaya iritaha brahmaloka phalam tasmat sakamasyeti varnitam. So the same idea is discussed in a Brahma Sutra. In short, this basically the whole section, that particular section, Brahma Sutra, etc., is called Apratikadikaranam or Apratikalambanadikaranam also. And what is discussed, that is a Nyaya Grantha, Brahma Sutra, based on logic. And this Tatkratu Nyaya is discussed at, which we have already seen. Tatkratu Nyaya, which is there in a Chandogya, has been mentioned there. In fact, the Chandogya mantra itself is discussed in there in Brahma Sutra. And relevant reference for you in Bhagavad Gita is, I mentioned also that in the last class, and that shloka is Yammembapi Smaran Bhavam Tyajityante Kalevaram Tam Tamevaiti Kaunteya Sada Tadbhava Bhavitaya. So, this is a Tatkatunyaya. Yammembapi Smaran Bhavam. What will be the last thought? Object of the last thought. What will be the last thought? Depending upon that only one gains a next life, etc. So here the last thought is just a thought of Ishvara only because of the vasanas, I told you, because of Dirghakal Upasana, he has that last thought. So definitely he gains a Brahmaloka and ultimately gains Jnanam and becomes one with that. So Sa Yatha Kratur Bhavati, Tatha Purushaha Bhavati, that has been mentioned in Chandogya. Saha Yatha Kratuhu Bhavati, etc. So Kratu means whatever is your desire. And of course he has meditated on this Nirguna Brahma through Omkara. So he wants to become one with that. And then definitely Yatha Kratu. Kratu means, the word Kratu has many meanings. Kratu means, one meaning of the Kratu means a ritual. Another meaning of Kratu means a Sankalpa. Sankalpa means a Shobhanatva Buddhi. We should know this. Kratu means a Sankalpa. And that's a previous state of a desire. That's called Sankalpa or Kratu. And then Kratu also is called desire. That's a thing. Here Yatha Kratu means a desire. Kratu means. So Sankalpa means what? Shobhanatva Buddhi in Vedanta we call. Like a given thing you bring into your mind and you feel elevated. That if this thing is there, my life will be better. If this thing is there, my life will be better. If this person is there in my life, my life will be better. This is called Sankalpa. That gives rise to desire for that person or desire for the object, etc. So sometimes they make a distinction between Sankalpa and a desire, etc. Sankalpa, from Sankalpa alone a desire arises. Then we should understand that it is a Shobhanatva Buddhi. Looking upon something as a source of joy, security or something like that. So And so just thinking of that, you feel that well, if this thing is there, you will your life will be better, etc. And that gives rise to desire, etc. But here kratu, sa yatha kratu bhavati tat tatha purushah bhavati. There here kratu means a desire ultimately. So well, there are many examples. Jad Bharata is one of the example we know very well. That well, deer was so dear to him that definitely that Jad Bharata has become in next life he has become a deer. Anyway, so what type of a desire we keep, what type of a desire we nourish, well, will ultimately come to at the end also. Many people worry about their children. Many parents, as they are getting old, they worry more actually, worry more. And when they were young and they had a child, this, well, they were not having too much of worry what will happen to my child. But as they grow old, their worry for the children becomes intense. They have a certain desire that my son should have been like this, son should have been like this. Anyway, who will take care of him, who will take care of him, etc. Well, so Jadabharata also thought, who will take care of this deer if I will not be there? Who will take care of this deer? Then Jadabharata himself becomes a deer. So yatha kratuhu bhavati. It's an amazing thing. So that is in English also there is proverb like that. I don't remember right now, but it is. So well, definitely you basically trade your path. You make your future in this sense. You have it. You entertain a certain type of desires, and ultimately you become that. So here, Upasaka also ultimately had either a Brahmaloka Ichha is there, either he wants to know Brahman, well, but he was not able to because of obstacle. Well, he did this Upasana and goes to Brahmaloka and gains knowledge and become one with that. He says, I am Brahman. What I meditated upon with the help of Omkara, that alone I am, etc. So anyway, so up to this we'll keep. Next time we'll go further. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.